If you're around a computer right now, you have to Google what happened in a Division III basketball game. Ron was just talking about it right now, and we Googled it and looked it up. And this guy by the name of Keywan Platt sucker punched another guy that was hitting a three. And I would think, we don't have the video right now, but when you look at this, I mean, this has to be assault. Keywan Platt, by the way, is suspended indefinitely and barred from campus in the wake of this act. It's one of the most disturbing things I've seen.
Kid takes a three-point shot from the corner, and his arms are up a la Michael Jordan, and he's following the shot, and I think the last thing he expected, this guy comes running at him, looks at the referee like to see if he's looking right before, and just drills him, and the kid's head goes back. If that's not assault, I don't know what is. And I'm not a guy that likes the courts getting involved in sporting events, but that's assault to me.
Yeah, it looks
one of the worst. Rudy Tomjanovich from years and years and years ago.
I haven't seen anything like this not in the realm of play.
It's not like he's trying to block the shot and hacked him or something. He just punched him right in the face, and his head jerks back. Awful, just awful.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines, and we're going to go out to Bob out in Indiana. What's up, Bob?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Hey, quick question. On the franchise tag, do you think the NFL will do some tweaking to that rule since the Steelers kind of got hung out to dry on that one, the way things worked out, and you wouldn't think somebody else would try the same thing again, but you don't know. And, you know, how many teams could end up in the same position the Steelers did this year for 10 games, just kind of hanging out, waiting to see what's going on. And I know it didn't affect their play a lot, but it could have a lot worse. And the other thing is I see that the Pirates made another mind-blowing trade. They traded nothing and got nothing. And if that's what's going to happen next year, we don't really have much to look forward to as a Pirates fan.
You know, I don't know what's going to happen to the franchise tag, Ron, but, I mean, both sides are going to want this change.
Yeah, well, there's certainly the players aren't going to want to keep this going, and that's to be something that, among the many things collectively bargained. When is it up, 2020?
Yeah.
They're already talking about strike, lockout, work stoppage. There's going to be a war between the players and owners, and this is going to be one of the many issues. As far as the Pirates go, yeah, I mean, Luplow and Max Moroff for, you know, two 19-year-old pitchers and a utility infielder doesn't do much for me. And what's unfortunate, I've said it many times, I really like the pitching staff. I like the starters. I like the bullpen. I think the lineup's horrible without power. I don't think Gung is necessarily going to be the answer. I'd like to see him find a bat and bring somebody in, and I might like the team's chances a little bit. Today's trade, yesterday's trade didn't do much.
Do you think that's the end of Jordy Mercer, then, getting a guy in here like he's going to take one of those two spots, I would imagine?
Yeah, probably, I would think. You know, I wish Jordy nothing but the best. I think you would agree, one of the class acts who ever played in Pittsburgh. And I thought a solid shortstop all along. I hope he cashes in somewhere big.
Yeah, I think the Pirates, if we're on the Pirates subject here real quick before we go to break, but I think the Pirates need to do something this offseason where they might even lose more fans.
Well, I guess, you know, Huntington was on with a fan afternoon show the other day, and he said, we made a big push at the trade deadline last year. Don't say we didn't do anything. They traded for Chris Archer. They traded for Kella. He didn't say it, but almost made it sound like, don't expect us to do anything now. We did it last year. Well, I love the pitching staff. I think Archer's going to be good. I like Kella. But you got to find somebody better and some bats in the lineup.
Yeah, you need a power hitter. They also need an outfielder too right now.
Polanco's going to be out probably for half the year.
Yeah, so that's something that you have to replace, and it should not come from within inside. They got to make a move just to appease the fans, I think, too. All right, we got to take a break. Back to wrap things up. Coming up next, stay right there.